Hello 99 Army, boys and girls, and welcome back to another Storytime video. Today I'm going to be talking about my last day of high school as an end of the school year story. Now, you might be having your last day of school next month or next week. I don't know, but regardless, I'm going to share my last day of high school with you guys today. So the classes that I had for my last semester in high school went English, math, economics, and then a computer class. I don't specifically remember for what the computer class was for. I just remember that we had a computer class, or that I had a computer class. So this was a few days before I graduated. It wasn't like the day of graduation. It wasn't the day before. It was a few days before. But my high school graduation is a story for next year. It'll probably be a two-parter. But anyway, so I start the day with English. And now this now final or final papers and stuff at my school, at least, the teacher had the option to make everyone do it or exclude some people based on attendance and grades. So basically, if you got an A in that class, you could miss 5 days. If you miss, for example, like 3 days, you could have a B. But if you missed 4 days and you had a B, you had to take it. I believe 1 day for C. And then if you had a D or an F, you just had to take it automatically. I believe that's what most of the teachers at the school did. And that does matter for the story. So I thought I'd give you guys that bit of context there. So my English teacher made us all take the final paper, the final exam. And I aced that final exam. And it was fun. I had a fun time doing that last English paper in high school. And then we go to the math class. Now, I thankfully was able to be excused because I had a high enough grade and I hadn't missed any days. I don't think I missed any days in my last semester of senior year, as a matter of fact, which is great. So I was excluded from doing the final math exam. That is, unless I wanted to take it. Now, I didn't want to take it. I had a good enough grade to the point where I didn't want to, so I didn't. However, this is very memorable for me because my friend Braden was in that class. Now, some of you might know Braden. He's a person that I've talked about in storytime videos. He was the main guy in the Norton versus McAfee, the Great War. I think that was storytime number 3 or 4. That was so long ago that this is 70, so I don't know how many of you know about that. But anyway, so he had to take it, and he was just struggling through it. And it sucked because he sat the row to my right and then a couple of seats up. So I could see him just struggling, but I just could not help him. And that sucked. That absolutely sucked because you see your friend struggling in a subject that you're pretty good at and that he's not the best at. He's better at history and I'm better at math and science. But regardless, it still sucks to see a friend struggle like that when you can't help them. And since my teacher just said for anyone that wasn't going to take the final exam, we would just be quiet and keep yourselves busy, no matter what you did. So I played on my phone some, I slept some of the time, and it was great. I feel like I earned that, but that's just me. Anyway, so my final lunch after that was lunch, but I don't remember what there was for lunch. I honestly don't. I I don't I hardly remember my last lunch at all. I don't remember what they had. I honestly don't. I'm trying to remember, but it's just drawing a blank. Like I remember who I sat with and all that, but I just can't remember. All I know is that it was some crappy school food. And then the economics class, which was a seniors only class. It was a quarter class, which personal finance across the hall from this particular class was the other quarter class, and I had that uh, from January through spring break of that year, and then I had this economics spring break through the end of the year. So the way that both teachers did, because they had all seniors in their class, is that in case a kid missed the final day of the year, they had the final exam the day before and the final day. So the last 2 days of the school year, they had the final exam. And I thanked them for that because my final day there, I could just relax. Again, that was another class I played on my phone. Hardly anyone. Oh, yeah, and the final day you could also redo it, I believe, if you really struggled. Although, I don't think so, actually. But anyway, basically everyone took it the second to last day, so no one really had to worry about a thing. It was just a fun class. But it was kind of sad being in a class with all seniors, including myself, final day. It's kind of sad. And then the last day, or the last class, was the computer class that I had, or one of them throughout high school. This was my senior computer class. And I didn't really have anything to do. I mean, sure, I could have done a couple of papers, improved my grade a little bit, but I was already making a great grade as is, to the point where I didn't really need to do them. I mean, sure, I could have done them, but I'm not going to look back on it 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, however many years later and go, ooh, I really should have done that paper or two on that in the final class, on the final day of high school. Ultimately, it kinda didn't matter. So you know what I did? I just sat there and I played Spider Solitaire. Because I don't think I could have played Flash. Yeah, I don't think I could have played Flash games on that computer. So if you're like, you could have played some Flash game. No, I couldn't. They had outright banned those on the computer in that classroom because a couple of the underclassmen classmates that I had that class with kept doing that, and teacher got upset about that. So, but she let me play Spider Solitaire though. So, my final class in high school was just me playing Spider Solitaire. That was that was it. And when I got home after my final class ended, it didn't exactly hit me that I wasn't gonna have another class in that school possibly for the rest of my life, unless it gets turned into an upper echelon of school like college or whatnot, but I doubt it. So it didn't hit me at first that I'd just had my last class on my last day in high school until a couple of days later, or later on that week, when I was graduating high school. So if you're in high school, or you're in middle school or elementary school, getting ready to move on to a new school in terms of elementary or middle, well, more elementary, but if you're about to graduate middle school, elementary school, or high school, and you only have like a week or two left, just savor it. Just savor it, soak it all in, because I should have done that just a little bit more. And that is what kind of sucks about this whole thing. I don't regret how the final days went because I enjoyed them. But yes, my final day was on a Monday, and I graduated on a Thursday. Before I end this video off, though, as a fun fact, I saw my senior health teacher while I was getting gas after work Monday. Now, I had that class in the first semester, senior year, so that's why it didn't get talked about today. But yes, also, I have been trying. Well, I know that I need to put more effort into my storytime videos, and starting with this one, I'm going to really try to put more effort into it and more detail. I hope that it reflected. And so yes, guys, I do believe that will do it for this storytime video. And until next storytime video, I will see you all later. Goodbye, guys. Thank you all for watching.